I see the coffee. I don't think you want the coffee. You don't like coffee.
So today we did something totally different and ditched the script, and I shared kind of an emotional take on my journey with postpartum depression, and I hope it encourages any of you guys, and if anything, it has made me love and cherish this little darling even more, because you gotta fight for it sometimes. So I just looked at my husband and I said, I can't do it. I just don't have it in me. And we had another video planned, and he said, Caroline, why don't you forget the camera and forget the script, ditch the script, forget the lights, and just speak from the heart. So that's kind of what I'm going to do today. And might get a little emotional, but we're just going to do an unscripted chat on postpartum, specifically postpartum depression. And I've never really shared much of the story just because I feel like it's my story and I really needed to navigate this season before really talking about it. But I know everyone's experience is so different. And so this is just my experience and my story. And what I really want to encourage you on today is that if baby blues or postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety is something that you are struggling with or have struggled with, or maybe will struggle with in the future and you don't even know that yet, is know that it does not define you. It doesn't define your role as a mom or as a woman. And it's a part of your story, and I believe it's a part of your story for a reason, but it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean you love your sweet little baby any less. If anything, in my personal experience, it really just made me love her more because I had to fight harder. And so kind of what happened is, for those of you that haven't followed me for a while, you know I had a really, really difficult pregnancy for a lot of reasons. Quite honestly, my pregnancy was like hell, and I don't use that word lightly. And it was so hard because I was so thankful to be given the gift of life and to be carrying life. And I was truly thankful for that, but it was a really big season of struggle. And so initially postpartum, I felt great. I felt amazing, and I was so thankful for that. Besides being a little bit tired, I would say, honestly, the first few months were pretty easy as they can be. And then about 4 months postpartum, I started getting some PTSD-like symptoms from pregnancy. So I get really nauseous. Food just sounded gross. The only thing I wanted to eat was like peanut butter and toast, which was funny because that was all I could eat pretty much my entire pregnancy. And I even thought at one point I was pregnant, took a pregnancy test. That wasn't the case. And I just had all these like PTSD, like flashbacks from pregnancy. And so that's kind of how this whole situation started. And then I would say it moved into more of like a postpartum anxiety. I would just like want to be with Remington all the time and hold her and take care of her. And I thought I was the only one that could take care of her. And I would get upset about little things like what she was wearing, stuff that like didn't even matter. And then it definitely moved into more of postpartum depression for me. So it was kind of more of a slow onset. And it took me a while to even want to admit it. I think I kind of realized it was something I was struggling with for well over a month before I even opened up to my husband to talk about it. And once I did just like admit like this is what's going on, it didn't change my situation, but it was so freeing just to be like, yes, I'm struggling with this and I'm going to admit it, and then we're going to get help and move on. And so for me, I know that everyone's postpartum anxiety, depression, all of that can look really different. But for me, I just felt really removed. Like I would hear my daughter playing and giggling with others, and I just felt like I was this outsider. Like I was on the outside of the house and I couldn't participate and I couldn't just live life. And so that was really hard. I remember one time even just looking at her and feeling like I couldn't like really look at her. And that was definitely when it was like that was definitely when it was at its worst. So that's definitely my experience. And so that was definitely when it was at its worst. And thankfully, I started getting help, working with a really great therapist. And again, just admitting that this was something I was struggling with was definitely probably like the biggest step in the healing process for me. Something that also really helped me was just being okay with where I was at and being okay with this is just a season of life. Yes, it's a rough season, but it is just a season. And knowing that this season of life didn't define my entire role as a wife and as a mother and as a woman and as a businesswoman, this didn't define me. It was just a season of life. And just accepting that it was hard and being okay with that it was hard, and I didn't have to like be joyful every single moment. I could just live through this hard season. Another thing that really helped me was just having super focused one-on-one time with Remington. So we went to weekly swim class together, and every morning and evening and afternoon we would have really intentional focus, like one-on-one playtime without any distractions, any phones, any to-dos. And that quality time really helped me heal. So know that you're not alone in the struggle. If this is something you're struggling with, definitely reach out to me or other women you might know that have struggled with this. Seek help. Know that you're not weak for getting help. And I hope that part of my story can encourage you that you can get through the hard seasons.